the law of this jungle is as old and as real as the sky. And the wolf that abides will prosper, but a wolf that breaks it will die. You see, out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I used to run with the pack, nowadays I run for the pack. Represent from the front to the back, balls in my heart, my city on the map. I was in the field, you're sitting on the bench. See me in the gym, rep till I'm bench. Sweat till I win, that's a victory stench. Yeah, we stay ready for the war, man, I settle in the score. Settle it. Right now I'm with the hype, I ain't in it for the light. I was down on the ground, now I'm up for the fight. I'm on it. See sight at the dark, now it's into the light. Out for more, down for my team. I wake up and I'm chasing a dream. Done dirt, but my crep stay clean. Send for me, rude boy, how you mean? Look at my champ with the verses. Clean sheet in him, and I'm on the verse with. Prize fighter, I'm taking the purses. Deathmatch and your family in hearses. The law of this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. See, out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
After that, cup exploits, heartache and VAR shenanigans, Wolves return to the home of football, return to Premier League action with a massive meeting with West Ham and, of course, a potential debut. You've just seen there Mario Lemina and a home debut for Matheus Cunha. I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me as ever is the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson and the former Wolves defender Lee Naylor. We have plenty to discuss. We'll also be joined for a quick chat by Carlton Cole to give a view on what's been happening down at West Ham and a little bit of chat about his time here playing with Lee Naylor a long time ago. It really was now 2 decades ago. Goodness me. And we thought Tomo was the one that reminisced about times gone by. So much has happened in the last week or so. Lots is going on transfer-wise. There's lots to try and catch up on. Tomo, let's start with a new signing that came in the door last night, officially confirmed last night. We know he was here yesterday. Julian Lopetegui was talking about him in the press conference. Things going crazy. You don't normally see that. Mario Lemina, hard tackling, box-to-box midfielder, arriving from Nice. Your thoughts on that capture?
Well, so look, you know that he was going to get reinforcements. You know that he was going to bring players in, and he's stuck to his word, hasn't he? Already we've brought 2 in, and so look, and it looks like there's some more on the way as well. So look, it's great. We've spoke about the squad being small and the way that things go with injuries, and we get left with the bare bones a little bit. But it's refreshing to see. So managers come in, and he's made it clear that he wants certain players or he wants to strengthen in certain areas, and he's done that straight away. So it's good to see. It's good to see that he's come in and he knows that we need help. And we know that we need strengthening, and he's gone about it in the right way.
Nails, obviously, this time of year, there is always lots going on, right? And things may come off, things may not. There are things that are happening behind the scenes that haven't been leaked out to the media yet. And, of course, there are other things that are going on amongst it. But when you look at how they've gone about it this time, in getting Cunha in before the transfer window opened, and now going and getting Lemina, what does that say to you about the way the club is operating?
Yeah, I think it's operating in an organised manner. I think they've sourced what they wanted early doors, and they've gone for them. And you know they've got two in the door already. I'm sure there's going to be more arrivals. So yeah, I think it's good business. We always says the squad was, as Tom said, was a bit thin, especially when 1 or 2 get injured. Then we're looking at kids. So yeah, it's good to get the numbers in.
We've seen the impact that Matheus Cunha has had off the bench in the last couple of games. We'll bring you the full team news in a second, but it won't be a surprise to anybody who's seen it on social media that he starts today, Tomo, and we expect him to start through the middle, which is maybe a role we haven't quite seen from him yet.
No, we haven't, but there's no doubt about his talent, what he's got. I've been impressed in what I've seen in the games that he's been involved in. He's been involved in 2 assists for goals, Liverpool and the game the other night as well. So look, it's nice to see. He looks like he's somebody who's willing to run at defences. He's definitely got that quality that we've been missing in that top third. So we just got to utilise him today. We've got to try and get the ball to him. We've got to try and give the ball to him in good areas to allow us to get in there. But look, so there's no doubt about it. So look, this manager's gone about buying in quality that he wants, and he's brought in players that he thinks they're going to strengthen this squad. And already I've been impressed with him already, Kuna.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, Nails. What do you think we've learned over the last two games? Because there were a lot of changes made for Liverpool. I don't think many people expected too much, and yet we actually saw a really good performance. And then he changed the system on Wednesday, and it didn't really work in that first part of the first half. But with players coming on and playing different way, we looked more of a threat. So what did we learn from those two cup games?
I think he's still experimenting. I think he can't change a whole squad, and bring players in that he wants. 15 players. It's not going to happen. So he's finding out his squad as much as he can. He's playing different formations to see what suits. He's finding out about the league. He's finding out about the club, the players, everything about this playing in England. That's what he's trying to find out. And the more options he can put out on that pitch, the more he finds out about his players.
How much, though, do we think, boys, that the almost avalanche in the last couple of days of rumours and obviously Lamina coming in and lots of other stuff seemingly bubbling under comes from that experimentation, that maybe he's taken time to look and tried out different formations, and maybe after Liverpool, Tomo, maybe after Nottingham Forest as well, but
yeah,
he's looked at it and gone, okay, now I know exactly the type of player I want that's going to come in and change this team.
And rightfully so, we've talked about him being an experienced manager, and he's showing that with who he's bringing in. Look, he's been at this club, 8 weeks? He's had opportunities to have a look at the majority of players. Don't get me wrong, there was some away with the World Cup, but I think he knew about them anyway. But I just think it's given him opportunity to assess what he's got here, assess what he needs to do to strengthen it, and the quality of players that he wants. He wants to bring in quality players. He knows that we're in a position where nobody wants to be in that bottom three, and he's brought in quality players that he thinks are going to get us out of it. And look, we said time and time again that we think that we've got a good squad already, and he's just adding to that with the players that he's bringing in.
Okay, team news on the way. We'll also hear from a man who played for both these sides in Carlton Cole, but let's take a look back on a dramatic night at the City Ground. Worrell up towards halfway to Johnson, just being tracked all the way by Kilman. Space to switch it to the left, and Loddy will try and drive it forwards, and in behind for the run of Gibbs White. Left-hand side of the box, the cross comes in, and somehow Forest are unable to turn it goalwards. So the delivery in towards the near post, flicked off the other side of the crossbar, and it's scrambled in! Scrambled in! And Nottingham Forest lead, and it's Willy Bolly who doesn't celebrate. The former Wolves defender puts Nottingham Forest in front in the League Cup quarter-final. A scrappy goal, one that will frustrate Julian Lopetegui immensely. 34 minutes approaching. Here goes Semedo down the right for Wolves. Low crossing, comes off Bolly. Edge of the box to Guedes. Guedes shooting through the bodies, and it's a good save from Henderson, low down to his right-hand side. It's a good challenge by Matinho. Midway inside his own half. Mangala comes away with it though for Forest. Runs into Totti. Matinho early. Now Jimenez allowed to turn, driving forwards. Plays it to Hee-Chan Wang to his left, back in field to Jimenez. It's the penalty area. Oh, what a save by the goalkeeper. Comes to Guedes, who smashes it high into the Trent end. Best bit of play of the game from Wolves so far. Lovely interplay between Hee-Chan Wang and Raul Jimenez, and the Mexican bearing down on goal. You'd have put your mortgage on him finishing it from there, but Dean Henderson was equal to the challenge. Guedes right-footed from the right side to Matinho. Pull back, Aït-Nouri striking, and the shot is blocked from about 10 yards out from goal, and Forest winning themselves a free kick just outside the penalty area. Oh, Matinho slipped, but just about got it forwards to Guedes, and then Guedes just goes straight into Freuler. He's got to look up and just play it simply. Semedo intercepting. Now, Wolves with opportunity. Jimenez launching across in. Hee-Chan Wang, brilliant save again from Henderson. Couldn't get it either side of him. Jimenez trying to drive it through the bodies, and Henderson equal to it, low at his near post. Wolves are starting to create chances. They'll feel like they maybe should be back on level terms. One more forwards that Kilman's able to head away. Neves presents it to Gibbs White, who strikes it low. Great save by Jose Sarr, down to his right hand side. Early ball to Renan Lodi, played in field. Gibbs White onto his left foot, still in the penalty area. Low ball across the face of goal, and Jimmy Colwoodson brilliantly blocked by Johnny. Mateus driving Wolves forwards to the right hand side of the box to Mateus. Cunha low one in, head home! Raul Jimenez! Wolves are back on level terms! The League Cup quarter-final is still alive at the City Ground. All the players run to Mateus Cunha. It's a lovely ball in, laid on a plate for the Mexican, who has scored so many important goals in his Wolves career. That, despite being one of the easiest, is right up there. Wide to Dennis on the Forest left. Home side growing again in confidence as Dennis is allowed to run into the penalty area. And the ball bounces. Oh, it's come off the inside of the post and cleared away by Totti. It was almost a calamity. The Wolves just seemed to stop playing and the ball rebounded.
Just got caught a little bit, Wolves, just pushing forward. That's where that quality's got to be better.
Adama Traore down the right hand side for Wolves, two with him for company. Can he find some space? Still trying to force his way through, still battling, he plays on, his cross comes in, it comes off McKenna towards Mateus. Mateus, was he clipped inside the box? The referee says no, he's lost his boots. He's lost his boots, referee. Ruben Neves is pointing to the boot to say, how can you not give the free kick or the penalty?
Well, I think he split his boot as well, I think. To be fair, this referee's not going to give us anything. How can he not give a penalty there? He's ripped his boot, he's took his boot off him.
We have seconds remaining. Forest have lumped it forwards. Totti's header's gone backwards. Johnny will turn and clear it downfield. And that's the final whistle. They cannot be separated after 90 minutes. We are going to a penalty shootout. Referee blows his whistle. Surridge steps up and it's saved by Jose Sarr! Diving to his right-hand side. The perfect beginning.
What a save. I'll tell you what, that was a great save. Because he struck it well.
Ruben Neves. So often, so good from the penalty spot. He's scored 8 of 10 he's taken for Wolves. And it's saved by Henderson, diving to his right-hand side. Both goalkeepers with the advantage so far. Freuler steps up, sends Sarr the wrong way. And Forest lead. Henderson being told to get back on his line. Daniel Pedence takes a big deep breath, strides forwards and scores. Lovely penalty.
Yeah, good penalty. That's what I thought Neves would do.
Hands on hips, strides forwards and that's it straight down the middle. Stepping back, shorter runner than Worrell. Whistles around the City ground. Mateus sends the keeper the wrong way.
Well, there was no doubt in that one, was there?
How many penalties will he have taken against Jose Sarr in training? Gibbs White looking straight, big deep breath, couple of steps to his left, couple of short steps, a pause, and he just about squeezes it in. Jose Sarr guessed right and got there, and then Gibbs White gives some to the Wolves supporters. Cunha stepping to his left, again a hesitation and finds the corner. And then he repeats Morgan Gibbs White's celebration and beats the Wolves badge on his chest. The fans are going to like you, my friend. Jose Sarr bouncing on his line, and it goes straight down the middle. It's advantage Forest. Joe Hodge misses, is saved, and Wolves are out. The League Cup dream is at an end, and it's despair for the youngster Joe Hodge. It's such disappointment for Wolverhampton Wanderers. The first quarter-final, the furthest we've been in the competition since 1996, and the journey is over. So that was Wednesday night. This is the team that starts today, and as you can see, there is a full debut and a home debut at that for Matheus Cunha, who, having scored his penalty on Wednesday, will hope to find the back of the net in the 90 minutes today. Jose Sarr's in goal, a back four of Nelson Semedo, Nathan Collins, Maximilian Kilman and Hugo Bueno, João Moutinho, Ruben Neves and Mateus Nunes in midfield. Hee-Chan Wang, Matheus Cunha and Daniel Pedence up top. New signing Mario Lemina amongst the substitutes, as are Ryan Aït-Nouri, Raul Jimenez, who scored a very good goal made by Matheus and Cunha on Wednesday night. Johnny Totti, Adama Traore, Joe Hodge and Chem Campbell returning from injury. Lee Naylor, we spoke a little bit earlier about Matheus Cunha getting an opportunity to start and play through the middle, but the two assists that he's made in the last couple of games, giving us real kind of cause for hope that it's not just goals they'll be hopeful for him, it's the added element and the added runs that he's capable of making.
Yeah, I think you can see that class. He can bring people into play. He sees a pass. He likes runners past him. He also does a lot of running himself. So, there's a lot of effort goes into his game. I think the manager likes that. The players like playing around him. And, he's setting up goals. Although he'd want to probably score himself as well.
Yeah, but you mentioned the work rate, Tomo. That's the key thing, right? I think that's what we're getting from the Julian Lopetegui teams that we're seeing. And maybe the fact that, Hee-Chan Wang, Daniel Pedence worked really hard last couple of games that he's been in there. But that maybe explains why it's Hwang ahead of the likes of Guedes and Traore, because he simply gives you that effort and defensive capability as well as the stuff going forward.
Yeah, it is. And so, we know that Pedence is a quality player when he's on that ball and he's up for the game. And we've seen glimpses of that. I'd still like him to give us a little bit more because he has got more. Because looking at the way that he plays, the quality that he's got, especially in that top third, and I think he can get more goals. I think he can have more assists. I know we've been greedy, but that just shows you the quality that he's got, and that's what we want from him. Wang, again, he's quick. He can be direct. I'd just like to just see him just get that ball out of his feet sometimes and just get at them and just make them chase him a little bit because he's got pace to get away from players. And it's the same with Traore. If you've got players with pace, just knock the ball out in front of you. You're going to cause problems for anybody. There's nothing worse as a defender running back towards your own goal or if a ball's over there. And I said to somebody just before the game, I'd like to see us just mix it up a little bit. We can be a little bit more direct. We have got pace up front. We've got players up there who can cause big problems. And that's one of the things. Sometimes when that ball comes back to our centre-halves or our full-backs, very reluctant to play the ball forward. But when we do, we cause teams problems. And I think that's what we've got to try and use a little bit more.
How weird is it, by the way, just looking down at those substitutes warming up and looking at the strength of bench that we all of a sudden have now? It's because I guess we've been used to years Nuno working with a really small squad. Now that we've got the 9 subs, we've genuinely got a lot of options, and there's players in there that aren't going to get an opportunity to play.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's what's needed in the Premier League. You do need a strong bench. You do need, especially as a manager, when you look around and you're looking for someone to change a game or you need something from, you need to see class there. And I think we are seeing that now. We are, especially when you look at the pitch down there. You can see a lot of good players that are not in the starting 11. So that's healthy for Wolves.
Changed a lot from Tomo's day, where of course they weren't allowed subs until very late on in his career.
With that laced up ball, is that what you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, had my metal toe cap boots on. Yeah, that's the ones.
Played 5 times a week and still went to a Saturday job afterwards. That was the era of Andy Thompson.
Good old game of darts, eh?
Let's hear from Julian Lopetegui, who faced the media yesterday and, of course, being asked about the importance of this game.
You mentioned Anfield was a tough challenge. Nottingham Forest would be a bigger challenge. What do you expect from West Ham tomorrow?
No, the most important competition is the Premier League. So we have to put the focus in this. Okay, we have had a very hard match, very two hard matches in a few days against Liverpool and against Nottingham Forest, but now we have enough motivation to recuperate, to recover our strengths and to be able to play against a very good team, very strong physically team, technically players also. So we have to be ready.
So big game between two teams who could really do with getting some points on the board. A little bit earlier, I caught up with a man who played for both of these clubs, Carlton Cole. Carlton, first of all, great to see you. We'll get to your association with West Ham in a minute, but this is a really big game, right, between two of your former clubs. How much are you looking forward to seeing how both get on this afternoon?
Oh, it's actually a really interesting game, I would say. I'm looking forward to it, but I think this might be a turning point. I know the Wolves fans are not going to like it, but I think it might be a turning point if we do use it to our advantage for West Ham to start to get a bit of good fortune in the league, trying to get up to, obviously, further up the league. But as it stands, it could go in any direction, but this could be a turning point for both clubs if they win. And to climb up the table and have a good last pot, well, I'd say ending of the season, because right now I think both teams know that points really matter. Any sort of point climbing up that table will be very beneficial for both managers.
You know, like everybody's talking about that idea of a 6-pointer. It feels a bit early to kind of class it as that, but you're right that both teams could really do with a win just to set a bit of momentum going, can't they?
Well, that's what it is. Like we both know, it's like Wolves and West Ham are in a kind of similar position where, obviously, you've got the new manager Lopetegui just come in. He wants to set out his stall and make sure that they have a bit of momentum going up now, and that game bounce back when you got a new manager getting the points on the table is really important. And trying to get that momentum. Obviously, with West Ham, not had a great start of the season, but in the last 2 games they haven't lost. So they want to probably start now chalking some wins on the table. They obviously done okay in the cup, in the League Cup the other night, but they obviously want to start climbing and putting points on the table. So that's the most important thing for David Moyes and his team right now.
Because you know what it's like. You know, you came here as a young man when the club had been out of the top flight for a long time, and there was kind of that huge pressure to stay in there. Give us just an idea of what it was like when you arrived at this place, and how different maybe you think it is now to when it was then.
Well, it's a lot different to when I was there. Nels will tell you, I was only a young pup coming over there. I only spent a month and a bit over there, but I really loved the players. There were some great experienced players. You had Dennis Wise, you had Irwin. You know what I mean? I came over and obviously Nels took me under his wing, obviously. I was a young pup over them those days. And then, I loved the whole setup over there, and I was so happy to see them get promoted. Obviously, it was one of those clubs where I knew where they were coming from. Like, the training ground was quite of a shock to me at those days as well. And I'd never And one thing as well, I always remember, I never had to pay for my lunch. Obviously, after you've trained, but you had to pay for your lunch when you was at Wolves. That was a shock to the system, and it was just proper working man's club, and everybody. You could see it was a family. It was like a family unified club, and I'm so happy to see them going up the table, getting up into the obviously getting promoted from the Championship into the Premier League, and then getting the right investment as well to create that top club atmosphere. And I remember, obviously, I was at West Ham. I was doing some ambassadorial work and then obviously you guys had just been taken over, and we was over doing the Asia Cup over in I think where were we? I think it was in China,
Yeah.
and I saw the transition. And you guys were explosive, and then I thought you was actually gonna go on to win the league that season, because the way you played against West Ham in the pre-season was unreal. And look, you're still in the Premier League, still doing brilliant stuff, and hopefully now this can create a little bit of buzz. Lopetegui's a top manager, and it can just make you climb up the league, but not at West Ham's expense, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we should say that, I mean, you work for the club, right? That's why you got the top one. You've been working this morning. It's why we've grabbed you when we can, because, I mean, you're developing the next level of talent, Carlton. That's what you're doing now.
Listen, it's not all down to me. Listen, teamwork makes the dream work, you know what I mean? But I'm glad to be part of something so big here. Obviously, the academy are doing really well at the moment, but and we're feeding in the youth as well. So that's a big thing for me. Next time, I would definitely like to come up and play Wolves and make sure that we leave our imprint on them. So that's what I'm about. Because I like when I like winning games, and we won today. We won 7-1 against Villa, your arch rivals probably as well, and in the Midlands and the Black Country. So yeah, it was nice to beat Villa. This is my other old club actually that I'm at, and it's nice to see some old faces here, and it's great seeing Lee Naylor on the microphone now, because I want to flip. I haven't actually seen him for quite a while now. He looks a lot different to what I remember him as.
So you know he can hear you, right? You know he can hear you. Just before we let you go, Carlton, come on, admit it. When you played with him,
He knows the bad's always going to come out, man. Come on, Mike.
yeah, but like, admit it, right? When you played with him, did you ever think that people would be actually handing him a microphone and asking him to talk about football?
Mate, look at me. What? Do you know what? Look at me. What am I doing here? I don't know. I'm doing BBC and all that stuff now. I don't know why I'm on there, but I'm on there now. You know what I mean? I've never been a BBC product, but it is what it is. If I can do it, Nels can do it.
Mate, really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. Quick prediction for today. How do you think it's going to go?
Listen, I've got to go West Ham win because we really need the points. So I've got to go 2-1 West Ham.
Okay, well, we'll forgive you as soon as you work for the club. Thanks, Carlton, mate.
I'm wearing the colours. I can't say Wolves win, can I?
Wolverhampton is a proud and diverse city, proud of its history and proud of its people. When times are tough and life is challenging, Wolverhampton stands together. At Wolves Foundation, we are the heartbeat of the community. We support thousands of people across the city of all ages and abilities. Half of the people we work with are from areas among the most deprived 10% in the country. We encourage people to become healthier and more active. 92% of our participants have improved their mental and physical well-being. We develop lifelong learning and skills. 90% of our participants have improved their educational achievement. We work hard to build safe, strong, and active communities. 84% of our participants feel they have contributed to a safer, stronger, and more inclusive community. Football is such a powerful sport, which brings us together and drives us forward. At Wolves Foundation, we are proud of our work and proud of our impact. Creating opportunities and changing lives.
Wolves against West Ham then, a really big game today. Reminder of the team news. Mateus Cunha makes his home debut, his full debut. He is in to start. Mario Lemina amongst the substitutes. Don't forget you can get in touch and have your say. Send us your messages on Twitter using the hashtag Wolves Live. Let's take a look back at when these two met here last season. There comes Bowen for West Ham, driving forwards, and his cross just evaded Pablo Fornals. Cresswell will pick up on it on the left-hand side, trying to put it back into the danger zone. Bowen's headed down just wide of the right-hand post with Jose Sarr at full stretch. His grip on the game has grown, and that's a lovely ball for Jimenez. Flag has stayed down. Jimenez into the area, lifts it over the goalkeeper, and it's wide. As Chan Huang goes down the left-hand side, infield to Moutinho, 25 yards out, and he fancies a go! It's just tipped over the crossbar by Fabianski. Getting himself set to deliver. Whipped in towards the near post, headed down by Saiss, and flashes through the 6-yard box and behind for a goal kick. Wonderful first touch. Here's Podence who strikes it through, and Fabianski just about managed to make the ball squirm past the left-hand side of the post. Back infield to Podence inside the penalty area. Podence striking! Oh, what a save by Fabianski! Neves, lovely ball again. Here's Semedo driving into the West Ham half. Jimenez, first time to the right side to Podence. Podence pulling it back. Jimenez! Oh, what a goal! That's absolutely brilliant for Wolves. The slick interplay matched by a perfect finish into the bottom corner by Raúl Jimenez. And Saiss has done brilliantly, and he now finds Adama Traoré, and Traoré trying to hold off his man, and Wolves have players breaking forwards. Adama Traoré through the middle, Adama Traoré to shoot, it's blocked. So, can Wolves repeat that feat and get a victory over West Ham? It could be an important 3 points if they do. How are you feeling about it, Tomo, basically? It feels like a simplistic question, but given the situation we find ourselves in, a lot of it is about feeling right now. And there are some people who are nervous. There are some people who are kind of on edge about it. And there are some people who are quite confident. I don't know where you are in that spectrum.
I'm a little bit nervous because of the inconsistency that we're playing at the moment. I would like Wolves to play like the first half against Villa and the second half against Forest. But the way that we've gone about things, we just can't put that 90 minutes together. And that's what I want to see. I want to see our team be creative. I want us to be confident going forward. And look, we've seen signs of it. In the last 2 or 3 weeks, I think we've seen signs about how this team can play and how this team can perform. Unfortunately, we can't put it all together, but we do look a lot better. We do look a lot better going forward. Just got to sort that out, that creativity and that a little bit of a quality in that top third. And that's the difference. Because we definitely get into positions. We definitely get in places. We saw it against Forest the other night where we've had opportunities, but unfortunately we just can't put that ball in the net enough times, especially like when you think back at the Villa. We could have gone in against Villa 2-0 at half-time, totally different game then. But like going in at 1-0, you're leaving yourselves open for the equaliser, which Villa got. But look, I've seen glimpses of what we can do. I just want more of it.
Nails, where do you see the key battles today?
For me, it's about keeping a clean sheet. If we can keep a clean sheet, I think we win the game. I think we have got goals in us. We just got to put it together. I think our back two is massively important, that they get their partnership going like they had at the beginning of the season. I thought they were excellent at the beginning of the season, and I think if they keep us strong, I think if the back four keeps us strong, then we go on and win the game.
Okay, predictions. Tomo, I'm presuming it's 2-1.
Well, I haven't done 2-1 for a couple of weeks, but I'm going to go 2-1 because I think I got that right against Everton, so I'll just go that again. You forgot to mention that one.
I love how he drops that in as if like he hasn't said 2-1 for every single game. And he only didn't go 2-1 for the Villa game because Claire nicked it before he could do it, Nails. So, Nails, what are you going for?
2-0.
2-0. Okay.
What about you, Michael? 1-0?
It has to be 1-0, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it has to be.
1-0. 1-0 last season.
You're banned from a 1-0.
There is no such thing as being banned from 1-0, my friend. If we win every game 1-0 for the rest of the season,
Obviously,
I will love
but
it.
come on.
Absolutely love it. But of course, we hope that there is plenty of entertainment. No doubt there will be. There's going to be drama. You know it is. It's Wolverhampton Wanderers. Join us for full radio commentary from the three of us at wolves.co.uk and anywhere you are on the move around the world via the Wolves app as well. We will leave you with highlights of a game that saw plenty of goals. It was the first meeting here between the two after promotion and hopefully can inspire us to another impressive victory tonight.
I thought we were brilliant. I really did. I thought we controlled the game from start to finish. It was how we want to play. We talk about it. We needed to be better defensively, and I thought we was tonight. We were close to each other. We were compact, and like I said, it was about controlling the game. I thought we'd done that from start to finish.
The law of this jungle is as old and as real as the sky. And the wolf that abides will prosper, but a wolf that breaks it will die. You see out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I used to run with the pack, nowadays I run for the pack. Represent from the front to the back, wolves in my heart, my city on the map. I was in the field, you're sitting on the bench. See me in the gym, rep till I'm bench. Sweat till I win, that's a victory stench. Yeah, we stay ready for the war, man, I settle in the score. Right now I'm with the hype, I ain't in it for the light. I was down in the grind, now I'm up for the fight. Seaside at the dark, now it's into the light. Alpha mode, down for my team. I wake up and I'm chasing a dream. Dumb dirt, but my crap stay clean. Step for me, rude boy, I am me. Look at my count with the verses. Clean sheet in him and I'm on a verse with. Prize fighter, I'm taking the purses. Death match and death, I'm reaching hearses. The law of this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. You see out here in this jungle.